about Dragonfire today, the new cooperative deck building game from Catalyst Game Labs, where players choose their favorite class from Dungeons & Dragons and go on an adventure in the Forgotten Realms campaign system. Adventures are broken up into scenes during which players face encounters and have the opportunity to purchase cards from the marketplace in order to strengthen their decks. Make no mistake about it, Dragonfire is a fully cooperative game, and you and your companions will have to work together in order to survive all the encounters brought forth by the adventures that are put in front of you. Now, let's go ahead and set up the table, do a full game, and then I'll come back and I'll talk to you about my review. Alright, so now we're going to set up our table for Dragonfire. Basically, I've already gone ahead and done some of that. I've got all my gold over here. I've got my +1, -1 tokens here. My generic D&D symbol tokens here. My life counter guides here. I've got my creature tokens. And I've got my class tokens, which I'll talk about briefly real quick in case if you play a game with less than 4 players, somebody is going to have at least one of these. If you play a 3-player game, somebody's going to have one. And basically you set this next to the character class card, and then that person's character represents that faction or that class as well. And that's important for things like when you distribute monsters, the first flip. Well, we'll get to that in a second, and I'll explain that. I said monster tokens, the exhausted tokens, and the standees. Now these two I'm going to lay down just so that they're easier to see on camera, but generally you would play with your standee like this. And basically what these do is this is how you represent your character if you pull an encounter location card. And you'll put your character on it, and if you move from each one, that's basically where you represent. And hopefully we won't encounter a location card until the second or third scene, because there's a little bit of complexity with it, and I want you guys to see the game before we get into that. Okay, so what else? We have the 2 encounter decks. There's the primary and the secondary. That's the dice aren't important. I just put them there for my reference while I'm filming. And you have the quest card. Before we hit the quest card, we're going to talk about the Dragonfire token. The Dragonfire token serves 2 purposes. One, it marks the party leader, which in this case is going to be our marshal class character. I'm going to move forward just a little bit. It also represents when to flip the Dragonfire card. And Dragonfire card has a lot of important things going on with it, and we'll cover that in more detail as we come across some of those things. So we have a marshal class character. We have a arcane class character, which is a sorcerer. We have a rogue half-orc, and we have a tiefling cleric. Okay, so everybody has their hit points starting here. We have 8. We have 8 again. We have 9 and 8. Generally, they recommend that you start with the most hit points as the party leader and then go to the lowest. This is a pretty balanced party, so I'm not going to make sure. I don't think it matters that much. And I kind of wanted the cleric last. I just kind of think that it's better to have the healer last, even though in the first round, before you hit the marketplace and stuff, it doesn't really matter that much. Next, I'm going to go ahead and divvy up their cards. Their hand size we have 5 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're probably not going to be able to see his hand that much, just because of who he is and where he is on. That's what I have to work with. Then we have the hand size of the mage is 2. And actually, we'll back up to the fighter here real quick. Oh, the fighter, and I'm actually playing with cards. The character cards that are probably from the portfolio too. I opened the portfolio pack and I mixed everything together. So we have this fighter has keen senses, and basically make a skill check, and you can shift a surprise 1 player to the left, which that could be important. His hand consists of 2 arcane martial basic cards, a devotion, stealth, or deception, and arcane. The sorcerer has an arcane and a deception. The rogue's hand size is 2. He has a marshal and a deception. And the tiefling is a 4. He has devotion, arcane, marshal, and a deception. Nice balance there. And then we're going to give out the gold. So let's see here. The fighter gets 2 gold. I believe the wizard, or the wizard, sorcerer has 4 gold. I believe the rogue gets 5. Yep. And the cleric gets 4. Alright. Before we do the dungeon crawl card or the adventure card, we're going to flip over the cards in the marketplace. We have a bless, magic missile, a javelin, perception, flaming oil, and another bless. Wow, those are all low. That's good for us. That's a good starting marketplace. Dragonfire card we'll get to after we do the encounters. So now we're actually at the point where we can, I think, where we can go to the adventure card. And this is dungeon crawl. And basically the adventurers are helping the townspeople stop monsters from coming out of the dungeon. And in the first round, well, we're going to go to the part of distributing our encounters. And basically what you do is you flip over first the number of cards from the dungeon deck or the encounter deck number 2, or the secondary deck, equal to the number of Dragonfire cards in the graveyard. And there are none, so we will not do anything with this the first round. So we will flip over according to the scene. Scene 1 is a number of encounters equal to the number of characters. And we'll put that back. And the way you do this is, okay, so you flip over a card, and it's a marshal card. So the very first card flipped over for the scene determines where the card is placed. This will get placed in front of the fighter. The half-ogre actually has an ability. He doesn't like fighters, so if he was in front of the sorcerer, he would still attack the fighter when it happens. So we kind of lucked out here that he ended up there. We have swarming zombies, or skeletons, I mean, and they put 2 tokens into play, 2 generic tokens. The tokens have to be dealt with before you can hit the creature. That's important to note. And then I placed it there. You might notice it's green instead of blue, because once you place the first one, it goes to the left. Which if it goes to the next player, which is clockwise. Depending on how you're looking at it. Looking at it from the camera down, it goes to the left of the player. So it would, if the player was sitting here, that would be his left. That was confusing. I'm sorry, but play goes this way. And then we have swarming zombies. 1 token. What was it? Yep. And they get a generic token as well. And now we have a giant spider. Not a bad first scene for us as players. And now we can actually start playing. Well, sort of. As soon as you're done placing the encounters, you flip over the first Dragonfire card. Oh, man. It was going good. This is not necessarily the greatest start for us. Well, it's actually really good because, okay, so you see the little dragon heads? The Dragonfire triggers trigger off of the number. So, for example, this dragon skull has a 3 after it. If there was 3 cards in the graveyard, this effect would happen. But there's not. So, we'll read the flavor text, which is a wild cacophony of screeching echoes around you as shadows jump and flicker by torchlight. A reeking odor of blood and carrion heralds their arrival. Place 1 humanoid token that has the 1 generic damage, and it will deal 1 damage in front of each player. So you put the Dragonfire card on top of the Dragonfire deck, because that represents that it's active. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab 4 marshal tokens, because that's what it recommended to use. And we're going to put those in play. That's a little troubling. So the fighter here. Okay, so the first round of combat and stuff isn't going to allow you to do that much as far as helping each other goes. You're basically on your own. So the fighter has, well, what can the fighter do here? Fighter has 5 cards, and there are plenty of tokens on the table. He can just wipe out the tokens. This is where you do some table talk though with your friends. Like, she has a blue and a red, so she can do, the sorcerer can do 1 damage level to the spider, 1 damage level to the skeletons if this is played right. So the question is, do you want to take damage or do you not want to take damage? And I think we're going to shoot for not taking a lot of damage. We're going to do as much as we can here. So he needs a green. All right, that's all he really needs to do it. So he's going to do, I'm going to lay him on top of the marketplace deck for now. 2 and 3, and that'll take care of that token, and that token for damage. And then he's going to use the 1 green. Let me get rid of these. He's going to use the 1 green to do 1 point of damage there. And you mark it like that. And then he has 1 red, which he can do pretty much anywhere. He's going to go ahead and, because these all take generic damage, he's going to kill 1 of the tokens in front of the rogue. He actually spent his whole hand. I'll discard those cards. Get rid of the generic token. And then he can draw 2 cards because he has 3 or fewer cards. And he draws a marshal card and an arcane card. Oops, before he draws, I'm sorry. He takes 2 points of damage from the 2 creatures in front of him. Then he draws. It's called the replenish step. And then the marketplace happens. He has the option of buying a card from the marketplace. And he has 2 gold, so he's going to go ahead and buy javelin. Javelin will go immediately into his hand. Javelin is an assist, so he'll actually be able to help people on their turn now. And immediately you flip over the next marketplace card, which is a spiritual weapon. That's out of this world, actually. And then play would pass to the sorcerer. The sorcerer has 2 cards, 1 blue to finish off the skeleton. And we'll discard that, put this in her discard pile. And she will then, immediately, this card will get discarded, and 4 gold will be awarded to the players. And the way you award gold is you start with the active player. There's 1. 2 will go to the rogue. The 3rd gold will go to the cleric, and the 4th gold will go to the fighter. And she has 1 red, so she can, let's see here. This is where you communicate back and forth a little bit. Both players have red, so it doesn't really matter. She's going to go ahead and kill off the token with her last card. She'll discard it, and she'll draw 2. She draws a basic arcane and a devotion card. She does not have anything in front of her as far as an encounter goes, so she will take no damage. She has 5 gold, and she's going to use 3 of it to purchase magic missile. Magic missile goes in her hand. It is also an assist. She's going to sit on the other 2 gold, and we flip over Twist the Knife. That's the next card in the marketplace. So, what can we do now? Okay, so let's see here. No matter what, it looks like the rogue is going to take 2 damage. Yeah, he's not going to be able to prevent a lot of the damage. 1, 1, 1. Oh, but we can do, yeah, okay, so we can do this. How are we going to do this? Play Magic Missile. 1 point of damage to the gray generic, 1 point of damage to this token, and 1 point of damage to this token. Because Magic Missile says deal as an assist 3 colorless damage, but it's 1 to each of 3, up to each of 3 encounters. And it has to be separate encounters. So, and then he's going to use his marshal basic, discarding it, to do the 2 to the top there, to finish that off. And then he's going to use his red to do 1 point of red to the spider. He will take 2 points of damage. He will replenish, drawing 2 cards. This goes to her discard pile. And then he has 6 gold. He will buy Twisted Knife. Because Twisted Knife is really good. Twisted Knife can be played as an assist, and it wipes 1 whole level of damage from a track. And we flip over a Lightning Bolt. Play now passes to the Cleric, who the Marshal player will play Javelin, doing 2 points of damage to the colorless. He will play his Marshal, eliminating that one, discarding the card. Then he will play his Deception basic there. And I think he's going to do 1 blue here and finish the spider there. So the spider will be eliminated. He'll go there. And spider dying, we will get 6 gold. Starting with him, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. He will replenish, drawing 2 cards. He draws a Devotion and a Deception. He has 7 gold to spend. There's nothing in front of him, so he takes no damage. I should have said that already. Well, I saw Spiritual Weapon, so where is that? He will... Oh, did I? Oh, yeah, he did. That's 4 gold. He's going to buy that. It goes in his hand. 4 gold. It's really good. Then we flip over the next card right away. And it's a Cure Wounds. That could be really important. But Bless is a little bit better. It's an assist. It costs 2 gold. He's going to go ahead and buy one of the 2 Blesses. And as an assist, it deals 1 damage of any color. So that's really good for us right now. And then we'll flip over the next card to the Marketplace. And that's 1 complete turn. And then play would pass to the Marshal player, which has the Dragonfire token. The Dragonfire card that was on top as active gets discarded. The Dragonfire level is now 1. We flip over the next card. Frenzy. Your foes momentarily shimmer before your eyes. As the effect dissipates, you wonder if you're still seeing things. They appear taller and stronger, their eyes filled with an inhuman rage. Each humanoid encounter heals 1 level. Okay, so we have a giant and we have an undead, so nobody heals. And then it says the attack strength of each humanoid encounter increases by 1. Actually, this card doesn't affect us that much. So we lucked out. Marshal player has 2 cards in hand. The rogue has 1 assist and the cleric has 2 assists. So the rogue or the cleric has spiritual weapon, which will take the first 3 out. The fighter has a marshal for the black. The rogue doesn't want to waste the assist on just one little red, so we'll use bless to do the red, because the assist deals 1 damage of any color, and then we're going to use the 1 blue to do the generic color and discard those cards. So now we get 6 gold again. Alright. And then there's nothing there to damage the fighter. The fighter has no cards in hand. He gets to replenish. There's no cards, so... Okay, kitty cat. You shuffle your deck, which I'm just going to do a table shuffle. There's not a lot here to mix up. It's really hard to shuffle this many cards, so table shuffle 3, 4, 2, whatever. However you want to do it. And then you draw the last card. That's 1. That's a glory. And then we have the marshal javelin card. So we have a marshal basic and a javelin. And then he has 5 gold in which he can spend. He's going to go ahead and buy Flaming Oil, which is a pretty good card. It does a black and a colorless, plus it deals 1 damage to all encounters in front of any one player. And so that'll go to his hand. And we'll flip over the next card of the deck, and it's Opportunity, which allows you to buy a card from the marketplace and play it immediately. It's pretty good. Play will pass to the sorcerer. The sorcerer has a green, so the sorcerer can play on the swarming zombies and eliminate it. Has fewer than 3 cards. Well, we'll eliminate first. We won't get too far ahead of ourselves. And then we'll award the party with 5 gold, starting with the active player. There's nothing in front of the sorcerer, so the sorcerer will replenish, drawing 2 cards. Draws an arcane basic and a marshal basic. Sorcerer has 7 gold to purchase from the marketplace. Not going to waste any time buying Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt's pretty good. It deals... what does it do? I can't remember off the top of my head. Requires an arcane. You can't play this card unless you've played another arcane card this turn. It deals 2 consecutive levels of damage to 1 encounter. Now, that ends the first scene. So, I'm going to put this giant right here in front of the rogue to remind me that the rogue is next. I'll replenish the marketplace. I should have done that before the scene actually ended. Okay, so now what happens is this Dragonfire card that was on top gets put to the bottom of the deck. And we can take a short rest. So during a short rest, all characters would remove exhausted tokens if they have any. And they heal 1 hit point. They're also allowed to purchase cards from the marketplace if they have the gold. Sometimes there's features and magic items that you can use during a short rest or a long rest, but most of the time you are not allowed to do that. It specifically has to say so either on the item or on the feature. Okay, so we're ready to start the second scene. And, well, here's how you start the second scene. You pick up the adventure card and you look at it, and for scene 2, the number of characters, or encounters I should say, is equal to the number of characters plus 1. So in this adventure, there will be 5 encounters. But we have a Dragonfire deck that is level 1. So we will go with the secondary deck, flip over the first card. It's blue, it's Sorcerer, it's a Galabdur, which has Dispel Magic. There's nothing that it can dispel on the table because none of us have magic items. I'm going to bump this back just a hair so that there's a little space between that and the marketplace. And then we'll start flipping over the cards from the primary deck for a total of 5. We have Etten, which is a giant. We have a Chul, which is as an arcane oh man. Oh, an arcane character can discard arcane cards to prevent damage equal to the number of cards discarded. So that's an interesting idea. Oh, that's the other thing I should have mentioned. That's 2. 3, we have a kobold pack, which is 3 tokens in front of the marshal character. That's the 3rd. Minotaur goes here. Minotaur has vanquished. Choose other non-location encounter card and discard it when he goes to the graveyard. So basically, if we kill him first, he gets rid of one of these other encounters. And number 5, is that 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And number 5, coming back, is a Roper. He has his prize Dispel Magic. He also has, when a Roper damages a character, it heals 1 level. So we kind of want to kill him off in one round. Now, okay, before I forget, what I was saying before is, okay, we'll use the Rogue. The Rogue has a ton of cards here, right? Let's say the Rogue was approaching his replenish phase. You are allowed to discard cards from your hand if you wish to get to the point of 3 or fewer to draw. So he could discard 3 of these cards or 2 of these cards to be able to draw 2 different cards. That's what I wanted to say. So, notice, no Dragonfire card. That's because we haven't made it back to the Dragonfire token. That's why I marked the Rogue as the first player of this scene. Because we won't flip over Dragonfire cards until we come back to him. It's actually pretty important. If it's possible for us to kill everything, we wouldn't flip over another Dragonfire card. Plus, the Dragonfire card that's there might have influences on all of these said beasts. So the question is, now, what are we going to do to deal with this stuff? Well, I highly doubt that we can kill off the Roper this turn. Let's see. He has Twist the Knife, which would get rid of a level of damage. It's also an assist. He also has Perception, which does 1 red, and it's a skill check. So if he does this card, and this is a Deception card on top of his deck, he has passed his skill check. If not, he hasn't passed. In passing his skill check, he gets 1 gold from the, as I call it, the bank. He also has Opportunity, which would allow him to buy a card from the marketplace, but he doesn't have the gold to do that. And he has the 2 basic cantrips. So he has, let's see here, what can he do? He has a whole bunch of red, and there's not a lot of red on the table, so he can do a lot of generic damage. Which might be actually really good for us. So let's see here. He can do, well, Twist the Knife does 2 red. Or he can just do that. Bless can be done as an assist for any color. Lightning Bolt does 2 levels on the damage track. We have Flaming Oil, which is actually pretty good. He's got 2 Flaming Oils in his hand. He's also got a Javelin. Wow, that's pretty good. So, well, the Flaming Oils can't be played as assists, but the Javelin can be. Well, I don't know. If I was at this table, I would hold on to my assists, I think. There's my 2 assists. I would try and hold on to them. I would look around the table and see what I can do. I can do the 1 blue to the Chul. Before I forget. And then he has a red, and he has another red that he can do. And he can either do kill off 2 kobolds, or he can do 2 damage to that. I think killing off the kobolds is a better plan because he's in a position where he's going to take 3 damage. Or no, you know what? That's not a good plan because he's got Flaming Oil. So we're actually going to do the 2 red there. because that makes the most sense. And neither of those cards have the special ability he can use when he plays it. So he discards. He is, however, going to take 3 damage, putting him to 5. He will replenish, drawing 2 cards. He draws a basic deception card and a basic deception card, so he has a whole bunch of red. He has no gold, so he cannot purchase from the marketplace. He must cycle a card. So, card is Bless. He must now pick a card to put onto the bottom of the marketplace. And since there's 2 Cure Wounds, we're going to go with a Cure Wounds. And normally this would go into the graveyard, but I am going to put it on the bottom face up to save space. And on top of that, it's important to note that the special ability of the sorcerer is Researcher, and the Researcher allows her to purchase a card from the graveyard, I think. Once per game, replace an existing market card with a card from the market discard. So she can take one of these cards and swap it, which basically allows her to buy it or allows somebody else to buy it, right? She has Lightning Bolt, which once she plays an arcane, she can play Lightning Bolt, eliminating 2 stages of damage. So if she plays an arcane over here when it's her turn, she can basically eliminate one of those creatures, or we'll probably use that on the Roper, is my theory. It becomes the cleric's turn, who has 3 cards in hand. One of which is an assist. I think he is going to hold on to all of them. Well, yeah, he's going to hold on right now and draw his 2 cards. Neither of those are an assist. He's going to take 2 points of damage. 1, 2. You might be like, why are you doing that? I could have killed the 3 tokens. Well, we'll get to that in a second. This is where some of the strategy and tactics come into play. Okay, so now we're here. Dragonfire card flips over. Old enemies. Hatred burns in their eyes like fires of avenues. Oh no, of Avernus. Wow. No quarter is asked nor given. This fight shall be to the death. For too long have you pushed against the darkness. Today the dark pushes back. So at the start of each turn, the active player reveals a card from the primary encounter deck. If it matches the character's primary class type, place it facing that character, otherwise bury it. This could be brutal. Alright, so it's the start of the marshal character's turn. It is not. It's an Orog, it's green, it goes to the bottom of the deck, it's buried. At least, let me double check how buried. You might have to put it in the discard pile. Just real quick. I've been putting it on the bottom as we played, and that might be wrong for this video. I want to verify. Place card on bottom of the corresponding deck. Yeah. So it does go on the bottom, just to verify. Now, the first thing he's going to do is play Flaming Oil. Okay, so this is a timing question. I'm going to play it this way, and it might be wrong. So this is something we have to check. Before you can hit this creature, how do I want to do this then? I think I made a boo-boo. I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing this right now. I'm going to hit one of the tokens for 2, and then deal 1 damage to every creature in front of him. So he actually has a -1 on that T right now from Flaming Oil, and he overkilled one of the tokens. My plan was originally to play it on the kobold, but you can't hit the kobold until you deal with the tokens. So now I will use flaming oil again to do one more colorless there and a black to put it down there to that one. And the flaming oil special ability will do, it doesn't really matter. He's going to do 1 point of damage to everybody in front of the sorcerer. Then he's going to play his basic card to do 1 more point of damage. Now he has javelin in his hand. He could effectively go ahead and play that, but I think holding the javelin because it's an assist is the smarter play here. We can help each other out a little bit better. So he's going to take 1 more point of damage, putting him back down to 6. He's going to draw 2 cards for his replenish. And he drew a stealth and a marshal basic, or he drew a deception basic and a marshal basic. He has no gold, so he can't purchase anything. He must cycle a card in the marketplace. He draws a bless. That's a lot of green out there. He's going to replace augury. Play passes to the mage. The mage will say, hey, what do you have over there, rogue? Can we help each other out a little bit? Can I do some damage for you? So the Galabdur has a double blue. So it's going to take 2 blue cards or two damage markers to do it. And then Lightning Bolt would be able to finish off the Galabdur, but it would be overkill. Over here we have Twist the Knife, which as an assist is pretty good. We also have Blast, and we have the Javelin here. The Roper is, I think, our target right now. I think we're going to try and eliminate the Roper before it does more damage to the Rogue, because the Rogue is about halfway gone. So we have a red assist, and we have another assist. So we can deal the 4 damage with the assist here. We can deal the 4 to the top level, because Twist the Knife deals 1 level of damage as an assist. Then the sorcerer can do the 1 blue, play Lightning Bolt because he played an arcane card, taking it down 2 more levels. So we did the 4, we did the blue, 1, 2, and then we're on to a blue again. The Roper, or the sorcerer, has 1 more arcane card. Can do that. Putting it there. Where it is. And do. Putting it down to there. And that was a lot of good teamwork damage there. We're not necessarily done yet. We still have a javelin here. Oh, you know, we have enough. We have enough as a team with the javelin and the bless. The javelin will do a marshal and a colorless for 2 of the 3, and the bless will finish it off. So we managed to kill off the Roper, which is pretty good. The Roper is from the primary deck, 10 gold. I'm going to start with the active player. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And it's still the sorcerer's turn. The sorcerer only has a basic martial card left. Not a whole lot she can do with that. She's going to end taking 2 points of damage, dropping her to 6 health, or 6 hit points. She has 3 gold. There's not really anything she wants to purchase at this time. So she is going to go ahead and flip over the top card of the market deck, which is a javelin, and she's going to replace a bless. She already took her damage. She didn't purchase anything. And play will pass to the rogue. The rogue has the ability to do roughly 3 damage, or 1 as an assist. So what can he do alone? Pretty much nothing alone. Oh, you know what he can do? He can use his assist to kill off the kobold. It's better than nothing. Kobold will yield 4 gold. Each player will get 1. That will effectively end the rogue's turn. Etten will deal 1 point of damage, putting the rogue at 4, which isn't necessarily good for us. He has 4 gold. He will replenish 2 cards, which is a devotion card, basic, and a devotional or a basic marshal card. I'll shuffle his deck now. Now, as a general rule, when you're purchasing cards from the marketplace, this is a little tip. You kind of want to stay within your family, because when you do skill checks, you're reliant on the type of card that you flip. Now, in a 2-player game or a 3-player game, you might have 2 classes because you might have the little token that represents that class. Took the damage. Has 4. Oh, you know what? He's gonna buy expertise, because expertise requires deception to purchase. You can't buy this card from the market unless you play a deception card this turn, which he did. He played a deception card to kill off the null pack, the kobold pack. And it allows you to discard a card to return any deception card from your discard to your hand. Also does a double digit, and we flip over feint. Feint is unique because it allows you to do damage pretty much anywhere on the track of a creature. It's pretty good. And that was 4 gold, right? Yep, 4 gold. He is now goldless. The play passes to the clerical player, who has the ability to do 4 damage somewhere. And we talk amongst ourselves, and well, I guess I shouldn't have done that, because all these cards are really in his discard pile. You don't have to flip your discard pile over until you go to draw, so he can actually use that if he wants. So I can do 4 to the chul. Oh, you know what I didn't do over here? The arcane player didn't draw her cards. And she has a blue and a devotion basic. So we have the ability probably to kill. You know, I think it's a better idea probably to hurt the Minotaur or the Gelabdur. So he's just going to use all 4 of his cards to do the 4 colorless to the Minotaur. A little. And then he'll take 2 hit points of damage, dropping him to 4. This is not setting us up very well for the 3rd scene. But the advantage we have right now is we've only got 1 card in the Dragonfire deck. I've played this times where by now there's been 6 cards in the Dragonfire deck, and it is just so bad for you as a party. He will shuffle his deck. I don't know if Catalyst has made sleeves for this yet. I'm going to get sleeves for my card game. There's Dungeons and Dragons sleeves out there made by Ultra Pro. If you want those, you can use any fantasy sleeves, obviously. Dragon sleeves. And draws a bless and an arcane cantrip. Now he has 4 gold, 5 gold, and he's actually gonna purchase a bless. Flip over the card in the marketplace, and it's a Cure Wounds, and he's actually gonna go ahead and purchase the Cure Wounds. Cure Wounds allows him to heal any character 1 hit point, and does damage if you're in the devotion class as well. But it only, you have to use it on your turn. So Cure Wounds is really good for us right now, and he replaces it with an opportunity. Now, play will pass. We will discard the Dragonfire card, flip over the next Dragonfire card, which is a Master's Hand. Shadows writhe and stretch, bending and bleeding into one another, to form gray silhouette of a malevolent being with eyes fathomless black. It sweeps forth A misshapen arm and dark energy runnels across the ground to every enemy still standing. So what it does is when an encounter damages a character, the encounter heals a number of levels equal to its attack strength. Well, that could be not fun for us. Good news. There's nothing in front of the fighter. Bad news. The fighter can't do a whole lot. Because the fighter has a stealth and a marshal card right now that he can use. So he will end his turn, replenish, draws another marshal basic and an arcane basic. Not very good. But he can, however, purchase javelin for 2 gold, which is gonna help us a little bit, I think. Maybe. Play passes to the wizard. The wizard can do 1 blue to the minotaur. With bless, we can do another blue to the minotaur. With bless, we can do another blue to the minotaur. Or no, she already did 1 blue, so she can do, let's leave the bless there for now. Let's look at what the rogue has. The rogue has the ability to assist by using, can do this, and return an assist card or any deception card to his hand. Question is, what does he want to do? Does he want to do twist the knife? If he does twist the knife, he'll do twist the knife, which allows him to do damage to any track. He'll go ahead and play that card. He'll do the 2 blue to the golem. We'll play javelin as an assist there. The sorcerer will play grace, eliminating the golem. You're going to like this. This is going to be good. Discard that there. Discard that there. Award the players 4 gold. They each get 1 gold. Then we'll go ahead and use bless to kill off the minotaur for the 1 red. Award the players with 6 gold. I'm going to do that before I forget. Starting with the active player. Now, when the minotaur is vanquished, whoops, I did not put a card in the marketplace. When the minotaur is vanquished, you may choose any other non-location encounter location that's not, well, any other encounter that's not a location, and discard it into its graveyard. No gold is paid out for that encounter. So, we have an Etten that gives us 7 gold, or we have the Chul that gives us 9 gold, and the Chul is already partially damaged. The rogue can do a good bit of the damage to it. We do not have any he'll heal 2 levels. So he'll be at full health when we come back because of this Dragonfire card if he damages the cleric. And the Etten won't heal at all because the Etten has no damage done to it. But it doesn't look like we'll be able to kill either of them off. So the question is, which one do you get rid of? The cleric is at 4. The rogue is at 4. So I guess we get rid of the Chul, even though it gives us more gold, because it does more damage. And we're in trouble for damage right now. And that ends the sorcerer's turn. Sorcerer takes no damage, because we've done a good job of keeping her alive. She replenishes 2 cards. I have to shuffle. Draws 2 cards, a basic deception and an arcane basic. Blah. But she's got a lot of gold. 1, 2, 3, 4. She's going to go ahead and buy that Misty Step that's sitting there. Misty Step. Discard up to 3 cards, then draw a number of cards. That's for anybody who has Misty Step. If you're the arcane class Instead, draw up to 3 cards, then discard that number of cards. Flip over the top card. It's Healing Word. So we have 2 Healing Words back to back. That's not necessarily the greatest thing for us. She has 3 gold left. She's going to sit on it. There's a lot of stuff there that is red/green. Not necessarily the greatest for us to do right now. Play passes to the cleric. Nobody has assists. So, he can't do enough damage to her to hurt her. Neither can the marshal player. So he's going to take 1 point of damage, going to 3. He will... what will he do? He is going to discard a card. He's going to discard Grace. Shuffle his graveyard to his deck. Because he's at 3 or fewer, he's going to go ahead and draw 2 cards. Draws Opportunity, and he draws that one. So Opportunity is actually pretty good right now, because he can buy Feint, which requires Deception to purchase. You can't buy this card from the marketplace unless you play a Deception card this turn. You'll play, if he plays Opportunity, he will. Well, he can't play that on his other player's turn, so he's got to wait. But you can damage from 1 card you played this turn, and may be dealt anywhere on 1 encounter's damage track. So that can be good. It can be very helpful in the long run. But anyway, he's at a point where he's going to buy cards, so he's going to go ahead and buy Feint for 2 gold anyway. So it doesn't matter that he's got Opportunity in his hand. And we flip over Tower Shield. Oh, good thing to note right here. I don't know what to see here. We'll pick this up. So this one has 2 swords, right there. Those icons are important for the martial class. Now this one has 1. If you play grapple, and then let's say you play Tower Shield on the same turn, those swords add up to a total of 3. You would immediately draw a card from your martial character's deck. And then let's say you would do it again in the same turn. You manage to get to 3 more. You would draw another card. And every time you play 3 of those in the same turn, you get to draw a card. So there's a little bit of synergy with the martial character. He's going to go ahead and heal the rogue 1. He'll do 1 point of damage, but it doesn't matter because it's going to reset at the end of the round. He'll draw 2 cards. And they're both basic devotions, which is not so good. And then he does not have the ability to buy anything. So he's going to flip over. Oh my gosh. Spirit Guardian, 10 gold. He's going to get rid of Healing Word, because this could be really good for us later. He takes no damage. Play passes. Dragonfire is now level 3. Flip over the Dragonfire card. So, players must make a skill check depending on the Dragonfire. Oh wait, Hag's Curse. An ancient being with origins in the Feywild with eyes of black coal, peering from a withered face, her gaze scrapes cold fingers across your soul. Ooh, that's chilling. Choking away the very breath of life. So, players must make a skill check, depending on the Dragonfire level. The first player for a 3+ effect only, the second player for a 4+ effect only. So the only player that has to do this right now is the marshal player. And so he's going to go ahead and make a skill check. He failed. So he will lose 1 gold. Wasn't very helpful, because he wanted grapple. Oh, he still has 2 gold, so he can do it. Good. Although he won't be able to play grapple this turn, darn it. Our rogue is in a little bit of trouble. Well, does anybody have an assist? I think that somebody here has an assist. No, nobody has an assist. So he can't even... The thing that's killing us is that Etten has five generic damage on the first one. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to spend the 2 gold. He is going to go ahead and buy grapple. He's going to... Hey, it's a magic missile. That's actually pretty good for us. That's actually not so bad for us. He'll take no damage. Play will pass to the arcane player. Oh wait, let's see here. Does he want to discard cards? I don't think so. 2 javelins are in his graveyard. No, he doesn't want to discard cards. He's not going to draw anything with basics. So, first thing the wizard or arcane player is going to do is play Misty Step, allowing her to draw up to 3 cards and then discard that many. And she is going to draw the full 3 because she kind of wants to shoot. She didn't get it. Basically, she just swapped her cards. She has a magic missile, an arcane basic, and a devotion. She'll take no she'll take no damage. She has 3 gold. She's going to buy the magic missile, so she's got 2 magic missiles now. I was hoping to draw her into a flaming well. I was hoping to draw the sorcerer into a lightning bolt. I thought that would help out with the Etten a lot, but I think we are going to be able to do this effectively for the rogue. Maybe. So we got a marshal. We've only got 1 marshal card. That's the problem. But we have an opportunity. So opportunity is going to actually be really good for us, I think. Yeah, opportunity is going to be good. So we're going to do 1 red with the opportunity. Oh, except he doesn't have 3 gold. So it's not going to be that good. We're going to do 2, 3, 4, 5 to do the 5. Oh no, actually, wait. We're not going to do that way. We're going to use 2 magic missiles to do 2 of the colorless, and then we're going to use these 3 to do the other 2. And then we're going to... No, actually, we're not going to use this one. I don't know how to make this work. We're going to do that one. Then we're going to play the 1 marshal to do the 1 black, the 1 marshal damage, and that's it. Which will do a good bit of the damage to this poor guy, putting him there. But and he'll actually stay there now because the Dragonfire card that was going to heal him is no longer on top of the deck. The only drawback to this is that the cleric is not going to be able to do any damage to him. So he will take 1 point of damage going to 3. He will replenish, drawing 2 cards. He will cycle the market deck. It's a cloud of... what do I get rid of? Cloud of daggers, which is you have to be of the arcane class to play it. Arcane class, if you're an arcane class, all colorless levels on 1 encounter this turn are -1. If you're a wizard class, all colorless levels on 1 encounter are 2. We're going to replace Tower of Shield. Or, I don't know. That might be a mistake. I'm big on damage, Tower Shield. And the sorcerer... I've been calling her a sorcerer. She's a warlock. And play will pass to the cleric, who has 2 gold. Does not have the ability to finish off the Etten. Will take no damage. Will cycle a card. Will cycle Opportunity for Twist the Knife, which is solid. Play will pass. Dragonfire level 4. This is where things start to get ugly. A new edict. When darkness comes, meet it without fear, without hesitation, and when you find yourself alone, pressed by the enemy, hold true. Remember your training, and it may see you through to victory. You may play non-basic card only if it's your class type. And there's only 5 cards in the Dragonfire deck, so the rest of it doesn't matter. I didn't replenish him. He'll draw 2 cards. He gets Spiritual Weapon and Stealth. Spiritual Weapon's pretty good in the sense that it's an assist that does a green and 2 colorless. So play passes over here, and the marshal character will play his basic card to end the life of the Etten. The Etten will die, goes to the graveyard. We will reward the gold. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Fighter takes no damage. We're going to go ahead and discard 2 basic cards. So that, we're going to only discard 1 basic card. So that he can draw 2 in his replenish. This will actually, where's my dragon tank? That will bring us to the end of the scene. We bury the card. We will take a short rest. Everybody heals 1 hit point of damage if they've taken damage. Actually, there's nothing for him to buy, so he actually, before we take the short rest, he actually has to cycle. It's perception. I think we need to keep, well, that's so good. If we get to 10 gold, at this point I don't know. Flaming oil is really good too, and we're about to be pounded. We need to cure wounds. I gotta get rid of the Spirit Guardian, as much as I hate to do it. If we get to a point where the cleric has 10 gold, she can cycle it. Put it back into the marketplace. She'll heal. She goes back up to 8. I don't know if that's good or bad that she's so alive. He goes to 4. Goes to 5. I already healed the marshal character. So we have gold we can spend. 3 gold here. He's going to buy... Oh, he's not going to buy Twisted Knife. He doesn't have enough. But he's going to buy the Perception. New card in the marketplace is Command Presence, which is really pretty good. Choose another player. That player draws 1 card and then immediately plays 1 card. That's pretty good. The cleric has 3 gold. Going to go ahead and buy the Cure Wounds. That's a solid purchase right now. I actually wish he had another spiritual weapon. We'll cycle the card. That pretty much ends our short rest. So this is where it gets ugly, people. And I do mean ugly. And it's time to set up for scene 3. This is going to get ugly. So in scene 3, in fact, I'm going to make my life easier because I'm going to be talking, and I'll do this here in a second. So we do, for our encounters for scene 3, it's a number of characters plus 2, so it's going to be 6. I'm going to take this like this. Actually, I'm going to use gold. No, I'm going to use... I'm going to put 6 tokens on top of the Dragonfire deck so I don't forget. Or on top of the encounter deck 1. That's the important part. The other important part is the Dragonfire level is 4. So the first thing you do is you flip over 4 encounters from deck 2. And we have the Formian, who is a martial character, or martial type, so he's going to go in front of the fighter. Or, is he actually a fighter? Yep, actually a fighter. Been saying that right the whole game. The Formian does, when Formian damages a character, Formian must save. If it fails, it deals 1 more damage. If it successes, it damages itself. We'll put that there. This is 2. Actually, we'll do it this way. And that's a Cyclops. Cyclops has no special ability. It's just flavor text. We have a Cloaker. Cloaker has 3 deception tokens. Not like I get one out of the box. With 0... What? How's that work? Oh, I'm reading it wrong. 3 tokens. I'm going to use the deception markers because they have deception for their health, and they do 0 damage. They're just there to be in the way. That's that one. And the 4th one is an invisible stalker. After damaging a character, invisible stalker must save. If successful, discard invisible stalker. No gold is paid out. Okay. We have swarming zombies. 1 token. We have another giant spider. We have a gelatinous cube, which is when it vanquishes. When it's vanquished, choose another player. That player draws a card. We have swarming skeletons. 2 tokens there. And we have an orc war chief. He is our target because he has, during the replenish phase, you do not draw cards. That man must die. Alright. He must die fast. So let's take a look around here and see what we have. We have a red assist here. We have... That's the only assist he has. We have Cure Wounds. We have Spiritual Weapon. And we have 2 Grace. So Spiritual Weapon could be beneficial. Actually, it's going to be very beneficial. And he has... Alright, so we're going to go ahead and go bam bam. We're going to do this. Spiritual Weapon and the arcane cantrip to do a green and 2 colorless, leaving him with 2. The cantrip does 3, and the arcane warlock's green devotion basic will do the 4th, putting damage token down there. What kind of assists does... So the marshal player actually has the ability to make somebody draw a card here. Well, wow. The arcane warlock will take 3 points of damage, putting her to 5 health. She will replenish, drawing 2 cards. They're both basics. She has 2 gold. She does not want to purchase anything. We have Big Finish, which is actually really good for the rogue. We'll get rid of Flaming Oil, I guess, for now. Oh, she will not replenish. My bad. We didn't kill her. Oh yeah, we did. I forgot about that. We are going to go ahead and kill her. I forgot the rogue had the 1 assist. So the war chief will die. Sorry about that confusion there, guys. I'm going to go ahead and kill the war chief so she can have her cards. It's really important that we kill that war chief right now. And then everybody gets... Let's see, who was the active player? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Does that change what you want to do in the marketplace? 4 gold? Maybe. Nope, doesn't change it. She still took her damage. The rogue's turn. The rogue's got a lot of red damage that can be done. Oh, there's 2 red there. 1 red there. Oh, can't damage the cloaker yet, though. Well, he's going to take 2 damage, maybe. I don't know. Let's see here. So we will play Expertise, doing 2 red to these annoying tokens, I guess. Or, wait a minute. Gotta keep our cleric alive. These tokens do no damage to the rogue. The fighter, who knows what the fighter's going to do. Fighter's got 3 marshal. There's a lot of red on this table. There's a lot of red on this table. Well, we have to help the cleric. So, going to do 2 red to kill off these 2 tokens. Going to play feint for 1 red on the invisible stalker. And the feint ability is damage from 1 card you played this turn may be dealt anywhere on one encounter's track. There's not much of a point to worrying about that right now. And then he's going to play the double red to kill 2 of these annoying tokens, I think, or 1. We'll kill 1, and we'll kill 1 zombie. I might have done. No, we're going to go with killing 2 of these because that I know that's right. You're allowed to do it that way, unless I made a mistake. He will then take 2 points of damage, putting him to 2, which is a very bad place for a character to be. He will replenish 2 cards, which he has Twist the Knife, which might come in to be very, very handy right now. He also has the Perception Skill Check Assist, which is going to be probably pretty good right now. He has 2 gold. He can't purchase anything. Marketplace card is grapple. Replace grapple with, I don't know. Man, Cloud of Daggers is okay. Spiritual Weapon is really good. Big Finish. Nobody's even close to 10 gold. So, now we have stuff to do here. We move over. He's replenished. Play passes to the cleric. The cleric will heal the rogue 1 and deal 1 damage to the skeletons. And he will finish the skeletons off. And everybody will get 1 gold from that. He then has 2 devotion basic and a stealth. He can take care of the token with a devotion basic. That will end his turn. We are going to get beat up. Takes 2 damage from the invisible stalker. Hopefully he fails a save. He passed his save. So after damaging a character, invisible stalker must save. Success, discard. Oh, he succeeded. So he has discarded. The invisible stalker goes away. Yay! We kind of lucked out there. No gold is awarded though. He replenishes 2 cards. Devotion Basic and Marshal. He has 2 gold. Cannot purchase anything. Cycles through. It's Confusion. Which, what do we want to replace? We're going to replace Grapple. He's already got a Grapple. And Grapple is not going to be the most effective card for us right now. Play passes. Dragonfire token. No tricks this time. Dragonfire level is now 5. 1, 2, 3. No, it's only 4. Wait a minute. What happened? I think I just cheated myself. Oh well. I think I set that up wrong, guys, because I put 4 cards down, right? 4. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. So one of those encounters wasn't supposed to be there. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, that's right. I did it right. My bad. Sorry for the confusion. No tricks this time. The bandits are tall, broad, and tough. Scars aplenty speak of their excellent tradecraft. They fan wide, knowing your bag of tricks. You'll not talk your way out of this one. Not this time. The debt is true. So it has a 5+ Dragonfire level, which the Dragonfire level is only 4. We lucked out. The attack strength of each deception encounter increases by 1. And now the way you do that is you grab one of these and you put this on. Wow, we are in trouble. We put this on next to their damage track, and we are going to get hurt. And the fighter gets to go. Fighter has 7 health, and the fighter has an arcane, a stealth, 2 martial basic, and grapple. What in the world are we going to do? Well, we got to keep people alive. So he'll do 1 red to the spider, and the 3 generic to it. So the spider will go to there. Oh wait, I want to use that. Except I'm going to use, instead of using the martial basic, I'm going to use the grapple to do it and pull him in front of him. The spider will not be able to attack this turn, so the 3 damage there won't be dealt. He's going to take a beating though. He is going to take a beating. He's going to take 4 damage from those 2, dropping him to 3. The Fomorian, must save. If he fails, he deals another damage. If not, he takes 1 track. So he fails, he's going to do another point of damage to the fighter. Fighter is now at 2. Fighter has 4 gold. Fighter replenishes with 1 and then shuffles deck. Draws 1 more card, and it's a deception basic. With 4 gold, he can purchase command presence, which allows him to make players draw cards, basically, and it does damage. But it won't do damage until his next turn. I think maybe grabbing that giant spider was bad news. I don't know. We'll see. We will cycle this. Magic missile again. Come on, arcane spellcaster. What are you going to do? You're not going to do anything. Well, the spellcaster will do the 2 generic damage to the swarming zombies. Maybe we can keep the fighter alive. We'll take 1 point of damage, putting her to 4. She will draw 2 cards, which is a basic cantrip for arcane and lightning bolt. She has 4 gold. She will purchase confusion. Confusion. Oh wait. Yeah. 1 humanoid or giant encounter must save failure. The encounter must skip the next attack. Player deals its damage as colorless to another encounter. And we end up with another lightning bolt, which could really save our characters here. We might actually pull through this. We might just pull through this. He needs to kill something here, though. Oh. So, the fact that I do not have assists here with the cleric is really hurting me. So this character, he's going to go ahead and play both of these. He's going to play Twist the Knife. Man. He's going to take 4 damage and become stunned. Well, he doesn't discard his hand when he becomes stunned. Question is, does he want to take his damage or not? that is the decision that I have to make for this player right now. We're at a turning point of what happens here. He can't kill the stuff in front of him, but if he waits and plays Twist the Knife, he can do 1 damage track plus one red to something. So the giant spider could die on the cleric's turn, even. Or, like, we can... well, he doesn't have any blue. He can use Twist the Knife there, and then he can do 2 and 2, and the... Well, he's got confusion, so we don't need to worry about the giant so much. But we can finish off the swarming zombies, and we can finish off the giant spider. They're both good things to kill off. We're at a... it looks bleak. That's what I'm trying to say. It looks bleak. And what I'm trying to figure out is whether or not it's worth it. Well, I don't see any choice in the matter. I think he's going to have to get hurt. And that is going to be the dilemma. I'm checking. Okay. So here's what I decided. I paused the video there for a second, so this might seem abrupt. But I wanted to think things through a little bit. And basically what we're going to do is he is going to replenish. Well, he's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4 damage and become stunned. So he was at 3 health. It goes down to stunned. He's not going to take any damage. Normally when you're stunned, you discard your hand. There might be a couple other things. The big thing I was worried about was discarding your hand. But he has relentless endurance, which allows him to maintain his hand. Oh, that's what I got to check. It's been so long since I've lived this far. The other thing you do is become exhausted. You shuffle your library and graveyard together, which normally you would have already discarded your hand. You only draw 1 card during replenish phase. So after I shuffle, he'll draw 1 card. He skips his market phase. He will also, if he has any feature abilities, none of them work, which he doesn't. None of these characters have any yet. This is a basic level game. And if there were any marketplace cards in play that said remains in play, they would actually be discarded at this time too. They would no longer be in play. These creatures stay in front of him. That's the drawback. So he replenishes, drawing 1 card, which is a marshal basic card. He does not get to spend his gold. He does receive gold with the party if the party manages to kill off some creatures. Which, I don't know what to do. I think play will pass to the cleric. The cleric has the ability to do a green, a marshal, greens. So this player can actually use Twist the Knife, discarding it, to do 1 damage to the zombies. The cleric will finish off the zombies with the devotion and award the party 5 gold. So starting with the cleric, going around, every player will get 1, and then the cleric will get another. Oh, what else can he do? That is sadly about it, I think. Okay. So play will pass. Dragonfire deck is now 5 cards, so it's a Dragonfire level of 5. Surging Evil. A dark malevolence sweeps across the battlefield, dragging with it a harrowing silence that mutes the rings of steel against steel. Your pulse pounds in your ears, and your enemies grin savagely as they push forward with renewed strength. The attack strength of each martial encounter is increased by 1. Well, that's not so good. Oh, this goes away, this goes away, this goes away. In addition, summon a marshal creature from the secondary deck. And place it facing the marshal character. If I ever get to one. Ah! It's a death slad. Death slad with 5+ does an extra damage, plus he does an extra damage for that. Holy cows. I think the fighter's about to die. Actually, he's in a whole bunch of trouble. So, I'm going to use one red there, one gray there. One colorless there to finish off the giant spider. Award the party 6 gold. Well, that's not looking good, right? There's good news and there's bad news. Okay, so you can take 3 here. And then he can, as he does his 3, he'll do the first 3 damage on the cyclops. That one stays. This one goes away. We have confusion over here, but it's not going to help much because he's going to get stunned. He doesn't have a hand, so he's not going to discard anything, but he's going to become stunned, which makes him exhausted. And when he replenishes, he only has to draw 1 card. He does not get a marketplace phase, so nothing happens there. And then play will pass to the wizard. Now these characters will remain exhausted until short rest, which in this case is at the end of the adventure. So in some ways we kind of lucked out. Oh, command presence. Choose another player. That player draws 1 card and then immediately plays 1 card. So I'm actually going to have the... Oh man, I don't know. I'm going to have... Oh man, this is such a gamble. Like, do I go for the rogue and hope he gets the double red twisted card? Or do I go for a cleric who can maybe draw a spiritual weapon? How many cards does he have? 33% chance. Or do I go for the wizard who can play a card immediately, or the warlock I should say, who can play a card immediately, but I'm actually going to go for the, I'm going to go for the cleric and its grace, which is a basic card. But he can play a card immediately, which, I don't know what he's going to do here. He has to actually play a card, so it's not very helpful. Does damage to this sled. Okay. It is the wizard's turn. And the wizard has confusion, which is 1 humanoid or giant must save. If they fail, they skip their next attack. Also has not the ability to kill him. Oh, we'll do that, I guess. We'll play confusion for 2 blue on gelatinous cube, and we'll do the 3rd one to do the 3 damage. Lightning bolt to finish it off. Confusion on the cyclops. Let's see if the cyclops saves this deck. He fails, so the cyclops will not be able to attack. Gelatinous cube passes away. Gelatinous cube says, choose another player. That player draws 1 card. We're going to let the rogue draw the card, since it'll be his turn next, and he needs some love. And then we'll award 6 gold, starting with the warlock. Play will pass to the rogue after she miss. Oh, not as good as I hoped. She'll replenish. She has 6 gold. Yeah, actually, that might work. Well, kind of work. She has 6 gold. She'll purchase. Oops. She'll purchase magic missile for 3. And reveals a misty step. She can't purchase anything else in the marketplace. Okay. The rogue has a decision to make. He's going to be knocked out because he can't kill the cloaker. So he can do 2 red to the cyclops and help the wizard out, or he can do 2 red to the cloaker and help the cleric out. Either case, these guys are pretty much all going to get knocked out. I don't think there's much we can do to help people a lot. So I'm going to do the 2 red to the cyclops. And then the 1 black. He is going to become hit again. He's exhausted, so he's unconscious. He's going to take the 1 hit point of damage. He's effectively out of this scene. He cannot participate anymore. Hand and library get shuffled together, which this is scene 3, so it's not going to matter much. The token will pass to the left, or the creature and the token will pass to the left because that encounter now faces the cleric. There's no market phase. He's already taken his damage. He does not get to replenish because he's asleep or unconscious. And play passes to the cleric. The cleric has no way to deal any red damage. So the cleric is going to use his 3 to wipe out the cyclops, giving 7 gold to the players. Oh, wait a minute. Interesting. I must check something. Do unconscious players get gold? I've never had this happen yet. I'm going to say that they don't because they're not in the scene. So the 7 gold, I'm going to take 3 gold here, swap that there. $7 gold gets divvied up among these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. He has no cards left in hand. He will take 1 point of damage. Draws 2 cards. One is a bless, which is the assist of any color damage, and then he has 8 gold he can spend. Well, we need a spiritual weapon, so he's going to spend 4 of it on that, and reveal a grapple. It has 4 gold left, and there's nothing he would really be able to purchase. So the Dragonfire card will become buried or discarded. Dragonfire level now is 6. The next card is hopefully not so. Oh, it was that was strength of all marshal are increased by 1, so those get removed. He has, because of the level of the card, he has +1 damage, so that's there. And the new one is the King's Fist. Familiarity breeds contempt, they say, but when the stress and burdens of adventuring lie heavy on the mind. Everyone takes refuge in the tried and true. Players may only purchase cards from the market of their class type. If it's 6+, if you cycle a market card, the new card does not match your class type, permanently reduce the market slots by 1. Well, there is that little bit of a problem. The fighter, however, can only play Flaming Oil, but he does 1 damage to each guy here, right? So that's 3. We have a spiritual weapon here that can do 3 more to the Death Sled. And that's pretty much where that ends up. The fighter will take damage, become unconscious. These will rotate to being in front of the warlock. Who has Misty Step. Actually, before it plays Misty Step, we'll play Magic Missile, hitting 1 there, 1 there, and 1 over here for, that's 3 blue, right? Plays Misty Step for the second blue and 1 colorless. We'll put the colorless on the Death Sled, I guess. So I'm going to keep track like that so you guys can follow it. Right now the only damage to the Death Sled is the, or the 4-man is the, oh, you know what I didn't do? He didn't do his save when he hit the fighter. And he failed it. So actually the 1 blue doesn't matter. And he deals 1 level of damage to himself. So the 4-man's actually there at the start of this turn. What's this doing here? Oh, that was for the save. Actually, I saved wrong, off the wrong pile. He still fails. So we go with the Magic Missile does 1 blue here, 1 blue there, and 1 blue here. Misty Step will do 1 blue here. One colorless here, which we already did with the 1 blue. So that puts it there. I don't need this token anymore. Misty Step lets her draw cards. She's only going to draw 1. It's a blue cantrip. Now she has to discard a card. Doesn't really help her. She'll discard the marshal. She'll hold the marshal card because that's what she's going to need to do more damage here. Those cards go there. That one's actually on him. She's going to take 5 damage. She's going to become stunned. Lightning Bolt would have been good, huh? Replenish is 1 card. It's a confusion, which she can't use right now. But it'll be good for her next turn. The save for the 4-man fails. So he damages himself a level. I did not replenish the cleric. I must be getting excited that it's the end of the game. I'm distracted by the amount of thinking that's going on here. Or maybe, no I did, because he bought, yeah, that's right. Ouch. Alright. So, play passes to the cleric. The cleric can't, can do 1 damage to the token. Man, this is rough. We'll take 1 point of damage. We'll replenish 2 cards, 2 assists, 2 bless assists, which is actually going to be really good for the wizard because play is going to pass. The Dragonfire token, I'm going to move it over here so I don't forget. This character is effectively not here. The next Dragonfire card is Cursed. I remember that feeling. I do. The dregs of fear and the hopelessness of a battle long since lost. Taking every last scrap of strength to swing a blade, to even recall a bit of the magic, at times a place even 1 foot after the other without falling. At the start of your turn, make 2 skill checks. For each failure, discard a card. And with 7 plus, if both fail, you discard your hand order. Pass and pass. Cards get buried. So she's going to play Confusion for 2 on the yeah, 2 on the Death Slade, and then the Formian for the Confusion save. It's a blue, fails. The Fomorian cannot attack this turn. Blessed to finish. So they've managed to kill off the Death Slade. He has no ability that does anything else other than 6 gold to these 2 people, these 2 cannibals. So a 3 there and a 3 there. Does not get a market phase turn. Does not take any damage because doesn't attack. Draws magic missile. Magic missile is not very helpful. Anyway, no market phase. Play passes to the cleric. Cleric is not capable of dealing any damage to the cloaker. Will take 1 damage, becomes stunned, discards hand, shuffles everything. Oops, gets an exhausted token, gets an exhausted token. 1 card, which is Bless. Play passes, Dragonfire deck becomes 8. So we have the God's Pleasure. The powerful voice shakes the ground upon which you stand. A language older than Elvish, perhaps as old as creation itself, sears your mind. Shouts of rapture issue from your enemies. Not good. The attack strength of each devotion encounter increases by 1. There is no devotion encounters. In addition, summon a devotion from the secondary deck, or if no devotion, or any if no devotion, and place it facing the devotion character. Well, him he can damage. We have summoned a Clay Golem construct. When Clay Golem attacks, it also attacks the devotion character. It also has strength plus 1. They are gonna lose. Well, let's see what can happen here. We got Magic Missile in the player's hand, which is not going to be very beneficial. Ouch. Alright, so we will play Magic Missile. Blue, 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 which doesn't do anything because it's only got one card. Has assist, though. Well, that's not going to help either. Anyway, I'll do it. Poor guys. The assist to do that. Now, the way the rules read, I'm not sure that I can actually play the assist on a creature in front of my own character. Because it says you can use assists to help other players. So I probably couldn't do that. It's not going to matter in this instance at all. Because the 4-man is going to attack, dealing damage, knocking out the warlock. Then we'll save and fail the save, doing a level of damage to itself. Decides to come over and help his friends. Play passes to the cleric character because, well, that's what's left. He has no hand, so he cannot do any damage. He becomes unconscious. And we did not complete the scene. Now, that is 3 scenes. Let's see here. So, completing the adventure after the 3rd scene, the party has completed the adventure. Awarding items. For each scene, now this is where you would award items in things of that nature, award experience. So, in this particular adventure, for each scene you start, each player receives 1 XP if the party completes the entire adventure. The players each receive a bonus of 2 XP for a total of 5. Standard rules apply for magic items. So in this instance, nobody... Oh, okay. I was reading it wrong. So in this instance, every character here would get 2 XP. The adventure wasn't completed, so they don't get the bonus XP. And then you would be able to start leveling these characters up. Okay, so first off, let's talk a little bit about the party. The party, I really kind of thought the party was going to pull through, and then they kind of didn't. They kind of fell apart. There's also probably some rules mistakes in this video. Why are they there? Well, I've only played the game about 6 times. I'm not a Catalyst Game Lab volunteer, and I wasn't paid to do this video, so it didn't have to be perfect. I didn't script it. I really worked hard on the first turn to make sure it was right, and I kind of moved through the second turn a little bit more. I filmed the video more than once, sadly, because I lost some footage and I had to come back and do it again. So I actually spent a lot of time on this. If there are any rules mistakes and you see them, hey, I'm sorry. Point them out. Let other people in the community know. But I'm not going to go back and film this again. It took me about 25 hours, and I have a lot of other stuff to do. Flaming oil. I do believe I made a mistake during the filming with flaming oil. I played it, the marshal character played it in front of herself when there was like 10 tokens. There was a lot of tokens in front of her. And she targeted the kobold leader. Well, the kobold leader was what put the tokens in. I'm pretty sure you have to deal the damage to the tokens before you can even target the kobold leader. I'm like 99% sure that is the rules as written after going back and looking at it. But I'm going to let that stand. You guys can talk about it. It is a little bit of a gray area because it involves targeting and damage. So, I don't know. You guys decide. Anyway, now, what else? That's it. We're going to move on to what I think about Dragonfire. Okay, so Dragonfire as a game is one of those games that, well, if you like deck builders and you like cooperative play, or this is probably a little bit more like a legacy deck builder, I think this game is probably pretty darn good for you. I thoroughly enjoy Dragonfire. Now, we're going to back up a little bit, and we're going to talk about Crossfire. I played Crossfire with one of my friends probably about 3 or 4 times, and he got so frustrated with Crossfire that he doesn't want to play it I didn't think it was that bad because I knew going in that the game was supposed to be extremely difficult. Now, Dragonfire is not nearly, in my opinion, as hard as Crossfire. I think there's a better the mechanics. I mean, it's cross. You know, there are different mechanics, but it's the same basic principle, right? So I think the mechanics are there, and they're just as strong as they are in Crossfire. I think what they managed to grab better was the balance in the card design, the way the synergy works with the players and the classes, and of course, it is going to come down to your group. If you got one person who doesn't want to help nearly as much as the other three, it's going to be kind of like dragging a weight around. I mean, one of the worst things in Dungeons and Dragons as a role player is when you get this player who's a rogue. And when I say a rogue, I mean the rogue is always off doing their own thing. Maybe sometimes in other parts of the dungeon. It creates problems for that particular community. You're going to have that same kind of problem here. They did an excellent job of catching that. Where Dragonfire excels is the fact that the biggest drawback to Dungeons and Dragons, or pretty much any role-playing system, is combat is super, super slow. It's not super slow here. And you can almost always do something if you have the right cards. I mean, the biggest thing about D&D is, combat's forever. 45 minutes ago, the magic user started casting spells, and I'm still waiting for my third portion of initiative so that I can make my 2d20 rolls so I can hit the dragon twice. Yep, that's D&D. Now, I exaggerated that. I love D&D. I love Pathfinder. I play some Shadowrun. I play about 10 other role-playing games. I'm not cracking on Dungeons and Dragons. Or any of them, for that matter. I'm cracking on the combat system. This kind of fixes that. So if you don't want to play a full adventure and you're a D&D player, or maybe you have a party of 5 and somebody doesn't show up and you can play Dragonfire for a night, do it. The complicated level, there's a little bit of a learning curve to Dragonfire. Locations get a little bit confusing. I suggest that you read the rules on locations, digest them for a day or two, and then read them again. Because if you're like me, you're going to read the rules and be like, wait a minute, that's overcomplicated. You overcomplicate it yourself, is what I'm trying to say. And I did that, and it took me, I was driving home from an appointment the other day, and it's like, oh yeah. The other thing that's key is the Dragonfire deck. The way they made it work, you get to bury, if you win the encounter, you bury the current one. I think it balances it out and makes Dragonfire a much better game. It keeps it moving forward. There's something fresh every round, or I shouldn't say round, that is a D&D term, but I should say, once the full cycle of turn is what I'm referring to, all the characters have gone, and you've completed it and come back to the Dragonfire token, there's something fresh at the start of that next round. I enjoyed that. What about playability or replayability? I think the replayability, we've only played two different types of, we've only used 2 different adventure cards, and we have not had the same experience twice. We've only played a handful of times, in fairness, but it's Dungeons and Dragons. The game's 40 years old. They have the ability to go into 40 years of lore for Dragonfire. You can have a Ravenloft expansion, you can have a Greyhawk expansion, Spelljammer expansion. Whatever they can get their hands on license-wise, there's really no end. And there are hundreds of self-publishing people out there now for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So as far as a new material comes out for a licensed product, this is spot on. You can't go wrong with this.
Anything else? I already said I loved it. I've had a blast. I wish that I had the ability to make an extra 2 or 3 hours a week so I could play it every week with a group of players and just keep going until we can't play those characters anymore and you have to start over. It's I don't necessarily think like some of the other games that are out there that you need somebody who's played it a lot to have a chance of winning. I think new players can play the quick start rules 2 or 3 times and have a very familiar understanding with the game and be able to succeed. Yes, I did say 2 or 3 times. Like I said, there is a little bit of a learning curve, especially if you're new to the game. If you're not a new gamer, you'll catch on pretty fast. We played the quick start rules twice, and we lost. When I say we lost twice, we didn't. We got knocked out. You don't really die in Dragonfire. You just don't succeed. So that's a bonus. If you go into it thinking that you're going to win, you might want to think again because that's not necessarily the way it's going to work. Let's keep in mind your average Joes, sort of, with some training. Your average Joes with training attempting to become heroes. A lot of heroes die. And that's the harsh reality of it. So, Dragonfire, well worth it. Like I said, I added the folios to it. What else? I think there's a lot of room here. They can do a limited edition game in the future. And, the only thing that I found that I would suggest to Catalyst is, I mean, I know it's the D&D symbol, it's the Dungeons and Dragons symbol, but some other generic tokens so you can tell them apart. I mean, there are a lot of other cool things like the marshal token and stuff, but that's it. Oh, yeah, make some sleeves, man. Make some sleeves. I would love to see some Dungeons and Dragons themed sleeves with the Dragonfire name brand on it. Other than, like right now I'm looking at maybe going to, I think it was Ultra Pro that had D&D licensed product for sleeves. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Go get Dragonfire.